The heat and your electricity bill. Complaints are climbing across Belize, but BEL says higher rates and electronic meters are not to blame. So, what is driving up the cost of keeping the lights on? Then the deadly mystery in Belize City. Residents heard gunshots shortly after 1 Sunday morning. But police did not find 23-year-old Christopher Smith Jr. until hours later. Tonight, the search for his killer and the motive behind the murder. Digi's record-breaking year. Its bid to acquire SpeedNet may have collapsed, but its profits are soaring. The telecommunications giant posts a historic $36.9 million in net income. Also tonight, tragedy on Belize's roads. 3 motorcycle riders killed in 3 separate weekend crashes. 3 families now grieving as police investigate who may be responsible. And Carnival 2026 comes alive. The costumes, the music, and the energy of Mass Camp Night 1. We are live as rhythm rockers, call it royals, and Trench Town masqueraders face the judges. Good evening, Belize. It's Monday. I'm Sabrina Daly. Those stories and more coming up in 60 seconds. News 5 starts now.
Introducing BB Insurance. Built for Belize. Your security, our priority.
Win the Encore Bundle. 2 Skydeck tickets, $500 Digi cash, a night stay at Grand Resort plus official Marshall Montano merch. Get your tickets for only $5 on the Digi Wallet Marketplace games. And experience Marshall Montano the Encore way.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Welcome back. Electricity bills are climbing and so are the complaints. BEL confirms that more customers are challenging their bills now than during the same period in previous years. Today, the company and the Ministry of Public Utilities spent 2 hours explaining the spike. Their answer: hotter weather is pushing consumers to use more power. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
It increases because when the dry season kicks in and the heat kicks in, a lot of electrical equipment burn more electricity, significantly more.
Why are so many Belizeans seeing sharp increases in their electricity bills? BEL Executive Chairman Lin Young took on that question today alongside Public Utilities Minister Michelle Shabat and CEO Dr. Leroy Almendares as the company moved to address mounting consumer concerns.
We've had a couple where, like I said, especially the ones that look very high, where there were arrears on the bill that the customer wasn't aware of. We've had that situation. We also had a situation where we changed meters, and so the previous meter, the meter reader wasn't reading the meter accurately. So let's say the meter is saying the total accumulated is 36,000 kilowatt hours. But on record, we have that the person only had used up to 34,000. So when we change the meter and pick up the correct reading, then there's a jump in the bill. So we found that to happen.
BEL says there is no single reason why some electricity bills have suddenly jumped. Executive Chairman Lin Young pointed to unpaid balances, incorrect meter readings, and in some cases, meter tampering. But he repeatedly returned to one main explanation: Hotter temperatures are forcing household appliances and electronic devices to work harder and consume more power.
I'm a mechanical engineer, and I did it, and I know that the extra effort by these compressors, it burns a lot of electricity. So IEAC, for that kind of temperature difference, might burn 50, maybe 60% more energy than it normally would burn for the same period of time for the same temperature. So the AC and the refrigerator is going to do that to you. Again, we all are going to use our fans more, right? Again, we are also going to take more showers, etc. So you find that your pumps are working more. And then things like computers and routers, a lot of electrical equipment have little fans in them. So when the external temperature is hot, then these little fans are working more. If you go and do work in a hot midday sun, you get far more tired and you sweat more than if you're doing it in cool weather. All of us, when it comes to burning energy, equipment and people, burn more energy when it's hot.
Hotter weather may explain the higher bills, but it does not make them easier to pay. With some consumers owing hundreds or thousands more, will the government intervene?
People are complaining that they have difficulties to pay these electricity bills, and it is a reality. And like I said earlier, government is not left alone, and we're working to see what we can do to alleviate this. You know, we have done a lot of things to try to help reduce the cost of living and the burden that people are facing.
For families already stretching every dollar, the bigger concern is how much more they can afford. As temperatures rise, are power bills becoming simply too hot to handle? Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
BEL is asking consumers to trust its billing system, even as complaints about higher electricity bills continue to mount. Executive Chairman Lin Young says employees have occasionally misread meters, but BEL corrects those mistakes. He argues that deliberately manipulating the computerized system to overcharge selected customers would be extremely difficult.
How you suggest they assure them this is what we're trying to do? But listen, I understand people being skeptical about companies, big companies. That's something that all companies face. You are from Channel 5. I'm pretty sure you've had some skepticism about your news coverage and different things, right? So we have to live with that. We have to be factual. We have to be honest about what is happening. That's what we do. If we find that we've done something wrong, we say, hey, there's a mistake here, and we make the correction. We haven't found... There have been instances of people making mistakes when they read the meters. That has happened. Somebody puts a 9 for a 6. That has happened, and when we have that situation, we correct it, right? But to systematically be charging people higher than they should be charged, that is, nothing is impossible, right? But if you understand the billing system, it's a computer system. It would take a lot of genius to be able to go and manipulate it so they can pick out somebody.
BEL is modernizing how it measures electricity use 1 meter at a time. The company has already replaced more than 40,000 older units and wants every customer connected to an electronic meter by 2028. But the rollout is raising a pressing question among consumers. Are the new meters contributing to higher bills? Executive Chairman Lin Young says they are not. According to him, the devices simply provide a more accurate reading.
There's another issue that has come to our attention, and we need to be upfront about it, the issue of the new meters. So we got the companies implementing a system of putting in electronic meters, which are far more accurate. The electronic meters are accurate between 1.5% plus or minus, whereas the old meters have an accuracy of between 3 and plus 3%. So they're more accurate to start with. If anybody understands electrical equipment will know that things like meters, if they're old and are going bad, they may actually they might be under recording more than over recording. The way it's set up, They have these coils, etc., in them that if it's malfunctioning, it's more likely that it will not be reading accurately than be reading more. So when we change an old meter for a new meter, we realize, yes, some people might be getting a more accurate reading.
BEL owes Mexico's state-owned energy supplier tens of millions of dollars, and the company admits it simply does not have enough money to cover all its expenses. So how is it keeping the lights on? Executive Chairman Lin Young revealed today that the Brazen administration has been helping BEL meet some of its financial obligations.
In early January, it was about $55 million. It's down to, I think the latest number I saw was 30 million, of which maybe about 20 is overdue. We've been in conversation with them continuously, and we've been bringing it down this year with the help of the government. It's pretty straightforward. The cost of power, in many cases, in many months, have been higher than the electricity rate. To give you an example, the company collects probably about $6 million a week in terms of all the revenue, and the diesel alone is over $3 million a week right now. So we have to prioritize paying CFE, paying Belize, the diesel, and of course we have employees that we have to pay, we have contractors that we have to pay. So it boiled down to us using up all the resources, and then that's how the company ended up in that position. We have to bring down the cost of power, right? I think the COPA adjustment will help, but it's not, like for example, last month alone, the extra cost was like 4.5 cents per kilowatt hour. The COPA is just 1.5 cents. So we're gonna have to find that extra 3 cents, which is probably, in other words, for that month, we are probably short of about $5 million in terms of our collections compared to what we have to pay. And again, the government has been assisting us in meeting some of these bills.
Belize's energy sector is in crisis. BEL faces mounting debt to Mexico's CFE, an increasingly unreliable supply from across the border, and limited generating capacity at home. But how did the country reach this point? And what must change to prevent it from happening again? We put those questions to BEL Executive Chairman Lin Young.
And I know that's a legitimate question for you guys to ask, right? But I'm just saying that my experience is that people make the best decisions based on the information they have at the time, right? Nobody could have known that CFE is going to start having problems. I wouldn't have expected that either, because it's such a big system and they are an energy-rich country. So nobody could have predicted that. So to the extent that we relied on CFE heavily, I can understand why people made that decision. Again, it's been a while since we added generation to our system. It might have looked like a good decision back then because CFE was cheap and reliable, and now when CFE isn't working. But we all make decisions based on the information we have at the time. So I don't care to go back and try to see, well, that wasn't a good decision or that was a bad leadership decision. We have to look forward and move forward with what we have now. And you play dominoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what they say, right? You have to play the hand you deal with.
You count as well, right? You count the board and you kind of predict what's ahead.
Yeah, and if you make a mistake, well, you just have to.
The best ones don't usually make those mistakes, really. That's why they're the best.
Everybody
right?
loses sometimes, man.
Belize is counting on a $77 million solar project to strengthen the national power supply. But the funding remains on hold. The Brazen administration signed the agreement with Saudi Arabia in 2023, and many Belizeans are now asking when the money will arrive. Public Utilities Minister Michelle Shabat says the deal must first clear a lengthy Saudi approval process.
I think government has undertaken huge projects over the last 5 years, and we have successfully implemented them. Unfortunately, the Saudis have a longer procurement process and more conditions that you have to fulfill. As a matter of fact, I think one of their conditions is that you have to use Saudi engineers for many of the aspects of this project, and so that is a little bit more involved. But I can assure you that we have our thumbs on this and we're pushing it as fast as we can. That we wish we would have had it. Yes, we want to have it because, as the ambassador has indicated, we have a major shortage in the country. And we are working, as you know, we just signed a $125 million compact with the Millennium Corporation, and part of that really is to reduce the cost of power in this country. And so all of these investments are really geared towards that. That we want it today and we should have it today? Yes, absolutely.
Coming up, a stolen pickup, a police pursuit, and a Coast Guard officer detained. What investigators say happened next.
My business is dependent on staying connected. I need quality service at affordable prices, and most importantly, I need to know that if ever there is a problem, my provider will be held accountable. See, the thing is, the people need their shoes. Whether we have many utility providers or just one, as a nation, the service we receive should always be exceptional. And that's where the Public Utilities Commission comes in. And JBV needs the PUC to be FTP, for the people, in situations where a single provider dominates. It is the PUC's responsibility to step in and ensure that our interests are protected and that we get quality service at affordable prices. I expect them to put the requisite laws in place to oversee the market and promote equity. I also expect them to discourage unfair practices and promote accountability. Lastly, I need the Belizean people to know that the PUC's decisions directly impacts our quality of life. Therefore, it is imperative that they remain guided by the law, informed by evidence, and made to remain transparent, like the Ministry of Shoes. At the end of the day, we all want a great return on our investments, and my Belizean people need to know that our providers are being held accountable. The PUC is here to help make that happen. And as the Minister of Shoes, transparency, accountability, and excellence is exactly what I promote, the JBV way.
The PUC's decisions are guided by the law, informed by evidence, and made in the best interest of Belize.
Life is full of precious moments worth cherishing, moments that shape our present and lay the foundation for our future. But amidst life's beautiful tapestry, there are uncertainties we must confront. How do we secure today while protecting tomorrow? Introducing RF&G Life Insurance, your partner in safeguarding what matters most. With a RF&G Life Insurance plan, you can ensure financial security for your loved ones, providing them with a safety net for the future. From identifying and recommending plans suitable for your unique needs to expert advice every step of the way, RF&G Life Insurance is committed to protecting your family's legacy. Choose RF&G Life Insurance for peace of mind you can rely on. RF&G Life Insurance, securing today, protecting tomorrow. Your life, your legacy.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
KTV The Remix Season 8 is bringing the heat every Tuesday night. Experience Belize's biggest singing competition live from the Bliss as your favorite contestants battle it out on stage with unforgettable performances. The show starts at 8 p.m. sharp, so don't be late. Get your tickets today at Greater Belize Media on Coney Drive or 88 Shopping Center and come be a part of the excitement. KTV The Remix Season 8, where Belize's next superstar takes the stage. See you every Tuesday at 8 p.m. only on GBM.
Residents heard gunshots shortly after 1 on Sunday morning, but it was several hours before police found 23-year-old Christopher Smith Jr. dead in Belize City. His murder comes months after a high-profile criminal case against him ended. Tonight, investigators are trying to determine who killed Smith and why. News 5's Brittany Gordon reports.
In the early hours of Sunday, gunfire shattered the morning silence in Belize City, and hours later, police made a grim discovery. 23-year-old Christopher Smith Jr., a man previously linked to a high-profile double murder case, was found dead with gunshot wounds on Arlington Drive. Police are now trying to determine who pulled the trigger and what may have led to his killing.
At approximately 7 o'clock a.m., police control room was advised that the body of Smith was discovered in a yard on Arlington Drive, Belize City. The investigators responded where they observed the unresponsive body of Smith, which exhibited apparent gunshot injuries, and they were also able to observe several expended casings on the scene. It is believed that Smith was shot at around 1:20 a.m. as there were reports of shots being fired in that vicinity. However, the responding officers were not able to establish a scene at the time. The department has since retrieved footage from the Crime Fusion Center, which have provided leads, and those leads are currently being pursued by the investigators.
Christopher Smith Jr. had a troubled past, but his grandmother says he was ready for a fresh start. In 2024, police charged Smith and 2 other men with murdering cousins Marvin Cante and Juan Raimundo, whose bodies were found in a shallow grave near Hattieville. The Director of Public Prosecutions later directed that the charges against Smith be withdrawn in November 2025. After leaving prison, his family says Smith planned to earn an honest living by working alongside his uncle as a baker.
He told me that he was going to change his life. He said, "Grandma, I'm not living this life anymore. I'm going to get a job and do the right thing." I said, "Okay, son." His uncle was going to put him to a job.
Smith Jr., the son of a police officer, was raised by his grandmother until the age of 5. She says that even in his adulthood, he often came to visit.
Every time he comes visit, "Grandma, I love you so much, Granny. Granny, you know how much I love you, Granny?" I say, "Yes, grandson, I love you too." Oh, he's always helpful, always willing to do whatsoever I have to do. He's the first to do whatsoever I have to do. If I have fish to scrape, no worry, he gone. Fish don't even soft and he ain't gonna scrape thing. That was him, always helping.
While Smith is known to police, they cannot definitively link his death to the 2024 murder charges and are still exploring all possible angles for a motive.
We have not been able to establish any motive. It's an ongoing investigation.
Smith's former co-defendants are set to stand trial this October, while police now investigate his killing. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
3 crashes, 3 lives lost, and 3 families left grieving. Motorcycle riders Elvin Chub, Jaime Catalan, and Patrick Chun were killed in separate collisions across Belize over the weekend. As police investigate the circumstances surrounding each crash, they're also working to determine who may be held responsible in 2 of the cases. ASP Stacey Smith explains.
Police are investigating a road traffic accident which led to the death of 23-year-old Elvin Chub, a Belize Defense Force volunteer soldier of Mayomapan village. The investigation commenced on Sunday, 23rd August 2026 at around 2:30 p.m. when police were advised of a collision in the vicinity of Silkgrass village involving a motorcycle, a SUV, and a delivery truck. The investigators responded, and upon their arrival, they observed a gravely injured male person on a motorcycle that was partially lodged under the damaged front bumper of the SUV. Police have detained one male person in connection with an ongoing investigation into a road traffic accident which led to the death of 46-year-old Jaime Catalan of San Marcos Village. The investigation commenced on Friday, 21st August 2026, just before midnight, when police were advised of a traffic accident between Duck Run and Billy White Village. Upon the arrival of the officers, they observed an unresponsive Catalan whose body exhibited grave injuries, and also observed on the scene was a damaged Lifan brand motorcycle which was believed to have been operated by Catalan. Also on the scene was another motorcycle which was off-road, which had minor damages, which was being driven by the detained male person. So far, the investigators believe that a collision occurred between the two motorcycles. The investigating officers reported that, acting upon information at approximately 7:20 p.m., they visited that location where they observed a bus which was parked on the left-hand side of the road, which showed damage to the driver's side, and on the right-hand side of the road they observed an extensively damaged medium motorcycle. What the investigation has so far suggested is that Chun was in the process of overtaking a vehicle when a collision occurred between the bus and the motorcycle, resulted in his grave injury and ultimate demise.
Notices of intended prosecution have been issued in each accident. 5 men are now facing firearm charges after 4 police operations in Belize City and Ladyville turned up multiple illegal guns and ammunition. From a Glock pistol discovered during a targeted operation to a loaded Remington recovered in Ladyville, and another firearm found after police intercepted a speeding SUV. Investigators say the operations have taken several weapons off the streets. ASP Stacey Smith has the details.
Police have formally arrested and jointly charged 20-year-old Gregoria Peter and 19-year-old Aaron Peter for the offense of kept firearm without a gun license. The arrest follows an operation at a residence on Peter Street by members of the Violence Prevention and Enforcement Team just before 9:00 p.m. on 17 August 2026. This operation resulted in the discovery of a black 9mm Glock pistol. Aaron Peter has since pled guilty to the charge and is currently remanded at the Belize Central Prison, where he awaits sentencing. Police in Ladyville have formally arrested and charged 30-year-old Anderson Martinez for the offense of kept firearm without a gun license and kept ammunition without a gun license. The arrest follows the execution of a search at the residence of Martinez on Monterey Boulevard on Sunday, 23rd August, which led to the discovery of a black Remington pistol with a magazine containing 14 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Police have formally arrested and charged 33-year-old Lloyd Parshu of Croton Lane, Belize City, for the offense of kept firearm without a gun license and kept ammunition without a gun license. The arresting officer, GH3 personnel, reported that they were on anti-crime operation in the St. Martin's area when their attention was drawn to an SUV traveling at a high speed at around 3:40 a.m. That vehicle was pursued and intercepted, and a subsequent search of that vehicle led to the discovery of a Smith & Wesson brand pistol. Police have formally arrested and charged 27-year-old Tyrese Gladden of Frederick Street, Frederick Alley, Belize City, after a search of his residence resulted in the discovery of a 9mm Glock pistol containing a magazine with 10 live rounds of 9mm ammunition.
Police in San Pedro have made 2 significant drug seizures in separate operations, with more than 2 kilograms of suspected illegal drugs recovered and 4 people now facing charges. In one case, police say nearly a kilogram of suspected crystal methamphetamine was found in the backpack of a 24-year-old man. In another operation, more than a kilogram of suspected cannabis, along with cocaine and crack cocaine, was allegedly found at a residence in Boca del Rio. ASP Stacey Smith has details on both drug investigations.
Police have formally arrested and charged 24-year-old Marcos Tun of San Pedro Town for the offense of possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply to another. The arrest of Tun follows an anti-drug operation conducted by Special Branch and GRI 3 personnel on 18 August, which led to a search of Tun. A search of Mr. Tun resulted in the discovery of a manila envelope that was inside his backpack, and inside that manila envelope was suspected crystal methamphetamine. The suspected crystal methamphetamine was weighed in the presence of Mr. Tun, where it amounted to 932 grams. San Pedro police have formally arrested and jointly charged 26-year-old Benedicto Ball, 26-year-old Horace Anthony Crawford, and 24-year-old Bridget Alcocer, all of San Pedro Town, for 3 counts of possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply to another. These charges stem from a search conducted by operation personnel at a residence in the Boca del Rio area of San Pedro on 21st August 2026. This search led to the discovery of 1,312 grams of suspected cannabis, 21 grams of suspected cocaine, and 28 grams of suspected crack cocaine.
2 men are detained, one of them an officer of the Belize Coast Guard, after police responded to a brazen vehicle theft in Hattieville Village on Thursday night. Authorities report that shortly before 8 o'clock, 2 masked men, one carrying a firearm, forced their way into a residence home and demanded the keys to a brand new 2026 Wingle pickup truck before driving off with the vehicle. Less than 2 hours later, police tracked down the stolen truck in western Belize, leading to an interception, a pursuit, and the arrest of 2 suspects, Coast Guard officer Shafan Hemmons and Alberto Ariasa. Police say the operation also resulted in the discovery of ammunition allegedly found on the accused. Assistant Superintendent Stacey Smith explains what happened.
He was at his residence when 2 masked male persons, one of whom was armed with a firearm, entered his residence and demanded that he handed over the key for a black in color 2026 Wingle pickup truck. He complied with this request and the male persons made off with the vehicle. Having been advised of this occurrence, the department's standard operating procedures were activated, and this proved successful as at approximately 9:45 p.m., the operational team in Santa Rosa in western Belize intercepted the black in color Wingle pickup truck, and also observed at that time was another vehicle which sped off. The vehicle was pursued, and on board that vehicle was Mr. Hemmons, and a search of Mr. Hemmons additionally led to the discovery of 50 live rounds of .22 LR ammunition. Consequently, Mr. Hemmons was additionally charged for kept ammunition without a gun license.
According to a source, the stolen Wingle is property of the Belize Coast Guard. Police say 2 armed men stormed an Independence store on Saturday afternoon, robbed the owner, and fled in a waiting vehicle. Their escape did not last long. Investigators followed leads, intercepted the vehicle, and detained 3 Belize City men. Dorian Garnett, Krishna Flores, and Anthony Smith are now jointly charged with robbery. ASP Stacey Smith explains how police tracked them down.
Police have formally arrested and jointly charged Dorian Garnett, 36 years of age, Krishna Flores, 35 years of age, and Anthony Smith, 42 years of age, all of Belize City, for the crime of robbery. The charge follows police investigation into the robbery of when the store, which is located in Independence Village, which occurred on Saturday, 22nd August at approximately 2:30 p.m. The investigation has so far disclosed that 2 male persons entered that establishment, one of whom was armed with a firearm, whereby they made demands of the store owner. The male persons took items of belonging to the store owner and made good their escape. The department was aware of this report, and the information in relation to the identity of the suspects was communicated. As a consequence of this, a vehicle was intercepted, whereby all 3 persons were found on board and were subsequently charged.
An 80-year-old pastor is the victim of an aggravated burglary in rural Belize after 4 men allegedly forced their way into his home in the early hours of Saturday morning. Police say Dennis Slusher was asleep at his residence between 2 and 3 a.m. when he was awakened by loud banging at his front door. When Slusher checked, he heard someone shouting, "Open the door, it's the police." The back door was forcibly opened and 4 men entered the residence. 2 of them were armed with firearms. One of the attackers reportedly struck Slusher on the side of his head before demanding the keys to his vehicles. The men then stole a gray 2024 Toyota Hilux and a gray 2016 Toyota Land Cruiser. Several cell phones and other items were also taken before the men drove away in both vehicles. Police are continuing their investigation and are asking the police to be on the lookout for the stolen vehicles. According to reports, the pastor does not wish for the matter to be a criminal investigation. After the break, Carnival fever is taking over. After the break, we go live as the judges hit the camps and the bands bring the energy.
Every dream begins with an opportunity, and every opportunity has the power to change a life. This year, Belize Bank proudly welcomes 16 outstanding new scholars during its 14th annual Scholarship Award ceremony, recognizing young Belizeans whose academic excellence, leadership, and determination inspire us all.
When I look around the room today, I see future entrepreneurs who will build businesses. I see future doctors who will heal families. I see engineers who will design infrastructure, teachers which will inspire the next generation.
For Belize Bank, a scholarship is more than financial assistance. It's a commitment to each student's future through guidance, encouragement, and mentorship from members of our management team. Today, we celebrate 16 new scholars, more than 250 lives transformed, one shared future. Because when we empower our youth, we empower our nation.
It was rainy, muddy, playing in a whole heap of mud.
We actually started working out of an apartment with about 6 of us. It was only 9 of us.
About 15 of us, not sure where we were heading.
I came from Cancun, Mexico for an interview and I didn't go back.
First time working a big girl job.
And if you didn't know, you had to figure it out. I didn't know anything about plumbing, so I had to study YouTube.
We won the bid.
I definitely have to ask your boss to give you a raise. I plan on retiring here.
8:39 in the night, I'm still picking up the phone.
And each layer matters, guys.
I want to see or hear people say that Design Depot is a family.
Design Depot to me is like a family.
And we all combine to make this one beautiful Sunday dinner. I don't know who might be the salad, but 1, 2, 3. Never stop.
Her phone, her laptop, her whole life in this apartment. If anything happens, it's more than just a loss. It's everything. RF&G Renters Insurance helps protect what matters most, even when you don't own the place.
It's time for the 37th Annual CBU Media Awards. And once again, Greater Belize Media is regionally recognized with exceptional awards and special mentions. Best Social Media Content Creator Award, Benita Keme Palacio. Best Videographer Award, Rick Romero. Child Rights Champion, Children Who Inspire. Belize's Children's Parliament debates adolescent health access. Reporter, Brittany Gordon. And videographer, George Tillett. Child Rights Champion, investigative reporting story. Special ed students locked out of school for 2 days straight. Reporters, Paul Lopez and Brittany Gordon. Videographer, George Tillett. Best Comedy Item, Grinch Steals Christmas at GBM. Rick Romero, Sheena Smith, and Nisa Sanchez. Special mentions include Best Advertisement, Television, OIE 17th Anniversary, Sheena Smith. Best Production on Land Degradation Neutrality, Boston Village Fights Back Against Illegal Logging. Reporter, Paul Lopez. Videographer, Dennis Tucker and Cleon Barrow. Best News Story, TV. Captain and passenger save flight from hijacker. Reporter, Marian Ali. Videographer, Darrell Miguel. Graphics, Sheena Smith. Greater Belize Media, growing together.
Insurance fact. Did you know Home Protector Insurance provides liability insurance that is for licensing? Public liability insurance for the hotels and guest houses protects the guests staying at the resort. Tour operators insurance for on-site tourists and marine passenger liability for passengers. You take care of your guests, we'll take care of you. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
Connection isn't something you switch on. It's something you build together.
Connected through culture.
Culture isn't preserved in silence. It's kept alive through participation.
Connected through education.
Education doesn't always look like a classroom. Sometimes it looks like someone taking the time to teach and someone else choosing to learn.
Connected through sports.
Before the wins, before the applause, there's belonging. Here, young people learn more than how to play. They learn how to stand together.
Connected through community.
Community isn't a campaign, it's showing up. Not once, but every time it matters.
Connected through you.
Behind every connection is a person who cares. People who listen. People who stay. We don't just connect services, we connect you to your world.
Connected through every chapter.
Smart, bringing people together.
Bus operators have stepped back from a planned service disruption, giving government more time to address concerns over rising diesel costs. Weeks after warning that soaring diesel costs were making operations increasingly unsustainable, the Belize Bus Association announced this evening that its members will continue providing service while giving government additional time to address the issue. In statement issued today, the association says it first alerted the Ministry of Transport in mid-July to the challenges facing operators following the expiration of the fuel subsidy, and had been seeking discussions to avoid any service disruption. They write, quote, "Today, the Minister of Transport requested additional time to prepare and table a cabinet paper on Tuesday, September 1st, 2026, for cabinet's consideration of the issue. Our members have unanimously agreed to make this additional sacrifice in the interest of the thousands of Belizeans who depend upon public transportation every day," end quote. While the immediate threat of a service interruption has been averted, the BBA says it is hoping for a definitive and workable solution when Cabinet takes up the matter next month. Digi may have failed to acquire its biggest competitor, but the company is still celebrating a banner year. It recorded a historic $36.9 million in net income, a 31% increase, while earnings per share climbed to 70 cents. So what does Public Utilities Minister Michelle Shabat make of Digi's record performance just weeks after its SpeedNet deal collapsed? We asked him.
You know, I'm glad that they're making a profit. after the $700 million of taxpayers' funds that Dean Barrow paid for it, we need to find a way at some point in time to recuperate those monies. BTL is the national telecom, whether we want to accept it or not. Belizean taxpayers' funds have been invested in that company, and I think we have a reason and we have to ensure that BTL survives so that when they are making profits, kudos to them. I have heard you say many times that you have new entrants into the telecom market, and I can tell you that there will be new entrants into the telecom market, but we need to make sure that BTL survives no matter where the attack comes from.
BTL achieved these results despite covering the cost of an old severance issue it inherited. The government and the Public Service Union are telling two very different stories about consultations on the Revenue Authority bill. Prime Minister John Briceño says the PSU had ample opportunity to help shape the legislation. But PSU President Dean Flowers says meaningful engagement ended after a disappointing meeting on May 19th. And the government never established the steering committee it had promised. Tonight, the union is setting the record straight.
We have submitted, as I said, a detailed position paper on SARA, what it should look like, what it should entail. They called us to that meeting in May. And as the sister has just said, nobody could answer any question in that meeting. Nobody could answer because everybody washed their hand off of the bill. The bill was never given to us. So let me use this as a teaching moment for the Prime Minister. The Financial Secretary, the Director General, or somebody that gave you advice misled you and were not being truthful to you. A PowerPoint presentation was presented, and I think our press release on Thursday explicitly gave the timelines of what really occurred since this matter arose. We established the Project Steering Committee. At that meeting, they brought the draft UR for the committee that was supposed to engage in the consultation. My brother, we have not met, we have not had a single meeting since that meeting.
The committee?
The committee has not met. We have not even agreed on the TUR.
Yes.
We have not agreed on the terms of reference for the committee, much less agree on even having a conversation on the bill.
So is that then to say that even bringing the bill for debate in the House is premature?
It's premature.
Yes, it is.
These people, they behave like dictators.
The costumes are ready, the music is pumping, and Carnival 2026 is officially underway. News 5 launches its mass camp coverage tonight as the judges visit junior bands, rhythm rockers, and Call It Royals, along with senior band Trench Town Masqueraders. Brittany Gordon is live on the ground, soaking up all the color, rhythm, and excitement. Brittany, take it away.
Good night, Belize. We're here on Price Street with the Rhythm Rockers Junior Group. It's an exciting night for them. The judges have just about arrived. And I'm here with the group owner. Talk to me, Miss Carla Thompson.
Yes, good night. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing fine.
So, you know, we have your group here. I'm already feeling the energy from them. Talk to me about the theme that you have gone for.
Well, my team came from a Netflix movie. I was watching Netflix and I fell in love with the movie Nzinga. So that movie just captivated me and I just run with it. So my team this year is The Rise of an African Queen.
So The Rise of an African Queen, I feel like I've heard that before because at the King and Queen, you guys actually placed third. Yes, talk to me about that.
Of course, yes, we placed third this year and I was so excited. I was more nervous than my dancer, so we placed third and excited about it.
And what does that mean for you, given that it's your first year?
It was third, but it felt like first. It was a big accomplishment for all my hard work.
So talk to me about the inception of this group, why you decided to start this year.
Well, this year it's always been a dream of mine, honestly, and due to stuff I just quit, and this year I said, okay, this is the year.
This is the year, so talk to me about the membership. How many kids have you gotten so far?
Right now we're at 30 and still recruiting.
And what has the energy and feedback been like for them?
It's been good, it's been good. You know, it's kids, you talk a lot, but I love kids, so.
You have any experience teaching kids how to dance?
No, not really, I just love Carnival.
So are you a dancer yourself?
I used to when I was a little girl.
And so how has it been sort of sharing that knowledge with them and getting kids to learn how to do all these complicated dance moves?
Yes, honestly, it's my nieces and my granddaughter. They came up with all the moves.
And as for the costumes, you said African inspired. So what are we seeing? Talk to me about colors and texture.
Tone, gold, reds, black, you know.
And then are you guys preparing all of those costumes yourself? Have you commissioned any help?
Myself, honestly, I have a help with my niece and my nephew, girlfriend, sorry. So it's only 3 of us.
And you guys are doing all of this. Are you feeling that the reception has been good from your community?
Yes, I have. It's been good. Cannot complain. Every day, someone pass and drop a bag of water, you know. It's been good.
And what about the community with the children and their parents?
It was hard because a lot of dads didn't want their kids to, their little girls to dance Carnival, and I don't see why, because I danced when I was a little girl, and the dress code for girls, we cannot show anybody parts. Everything has to be covered, so it's not like, you know, they would be exposed.
Keep it appropriate in terms of the dance moves.
We keep it appropriate, kid friendly also.
And have the children been excited?
Yes, ma'am, they have. They come to practice before 3 o'clock. They're at my house. I think all of them have that me as their aunt.
All right, so now the judges are here and you know it's ongoing. Are you confident in what you've been able to accomplish so far?
I am, yes, ma'am, I'm sure. I'm confident. I work hard, I put in my work, I follow all the rules, so I put in my work. I'm confident.
And as for Carnival itself and this celebration of Belizean culture, how meaningful is that to you?
It's meaningful because it shows our culture to the world, you know. People come from all over the world to celebrate with us, so it means a lot to me.
And when you look at other regions and their different version of Carnival, you think ours are up to par?
We're getting there. I would just like to see a lot of more boys in the Carnival. That's what I would like to see.
Well, looking at your group, you seem to have a lot of boy membership. How did you go about getting that?
It was rough. It was rough. It was rough, but they came along. I don't let them practice in the line per se because we have some, you know, that stigma where they like to say about boys.
We have here tonight, we also have the president. Talk to me about how you're feeling tonight, sir.
Well, as usual, excited. You know, as you know, we are here at the first mass camp, and this is one of the new bands, Rhythm Rockers. And, you know, I'm just excited to see September 5th come, when these bands will bring all these design ideas to life for the general public.
And how does it feel to see new faces in the group, in the scene, new Carnival members and new teams coming up?
Well, I'm always excited to see a new band or new faces, the younger ones coming up. I'm always excited to see, you know, that we have parents who want to keep the tradition alive and allow their kids to be in the Carnival.
And what's the energy like from the rest of the Carnival Association as we move forward into September?
Well, the association, we are excited because, like I always said, we start planning the Carnival. The 1 month after Carnival finish in September, we just take a little break, and the following month we are back on it, planning the next year's Carnival Road March.
And looking at what you've seen so far of the different groups, we had King and Queen, and we had some amazing showcases so far. Do you feel that this Carnival is going to be as good as last year?
As good as last year, and I would even go a little further and say a bit better.
So this has been my coverage of tonight's mass camp with Rhythm Rockers here on Price Street. If you would like to catch some of our other mass camp coverage, you can check our social media pages where we'll be bringing to you all of the dances and hearing more about the themes and costumes this year. So just follow us and check on our Facebook. We have Instagram, TikTok, and you can get more coverage of tonight's mass camps. Reporting for News 5 Live, I'm Brittany Gordon.
Tune in into News 5 on Tuesday night for our live coverage of Mass Camp Night 2. Despite strong objections from the Public Service Union, the bill cleared another major hurdle. Lawmakers debated and passed it in the National Assembly, setting the stage for another round of scrutiny in the Senate. Here's a look at how the debate unfolded.
The problem begins, Mr. Speaker, with the advisory board. Section 5.5 states clearly, and if I can quote, that the board shall provide policy advice and recommendations, but shall not exercise any executive, operational, supervisory, or decision-making authority over the authority, the CEO, or any chief officer, end of quote. So this seems ambiguous to us.
Why we have the board as an advisory board is because we don't want to be appointing people who will then tell the CEO who to tax and who not to tax and how to tax and go after this one or left that to my family, you know. So it is important because tax it's so fundamental to people and generally all of us, you know, are afraid of the tax department whenever they come to you. Even though you know you are doing everything right, you still have this fear for them. So it is important for us to assure the Belizean people, in particular the business community, that what we are setting up is to ensure to get the politics out of it as much as we possibly can.
The Public Service Union says it will lobby independent senators and the opposition to block the bill, and if it does go through, the union says it will mobilize its members. In a release issued today, the PSU encouraged government to consider the concerns raised and to ensure that the final legislation establishes a revenue authority that is accountable, transparent, professionally governed, and protected by appropriate checks and balances. We will continue to follow. For Maya communities in southern Belize, climate change is not a distant threat. It is already disrupting rainfall, damaging crops, and placing generations of cultural knowledge at risk. Belize has produced climate plans, made international commitments, and held countless policy discussions. But in communities already facing erratic rainfall, extreme heat, flooding, and coastal erosion, the real test is whether those promises will deliver meaningful change. As National Climate Week opened in Punta Gorda, the conversation shifted from what Belize intends to do to what it is actually doing. Here's News 5's Isani Cayetano with the following story.
Belize has no shortage of climate plans, policy discussions, or international commitments. But will those commitments deliver real change for communities already battling floods, coastal erosion, extreme heat, and unpredictable weather?
We need to reach down to the communities. We need to educate the communities, the individuals, and especially our youths, because they are leading us now to the future. So we need to equip them. And the right place to do it, it's during Climate Week.
The 4-day event opened on Friday at the Punta Gorda Sporting Complex, bringing government officials, environmental organizations, businesses, and residents together under the theme Where Innovation Meets Impact, driving resilience, scaling technology, and expanding inclusion in climate action.
Climate change is real and action is needed, we know that, but we want to do more than just survive climate change. We want to thrive, and in thriving, culture is everything, because culture is what we do, who we are. And Belize has the richest cultural tapestry I can think of, and we need to both learn from each other, tap into that, because that's the way how we can also adapt to the things that we are experiencing with climate change.
For many Indigenous peoples, land is tied to language, spirituality, ceremonies, and ancestral knowledge. When coastlines erode, forests disappear, communities are displaced, cultural practices and sacred places may also be lost.
Our participation here is to highlight the importance of land stewardship from an Indigenous reality. You know, in Maya communities, are predominant here in Toledo. We use the land. We're very, very connected to the land. Everything that we do comes from the land. So our stewardship of the land, our relationship with it, our relationship with each other is important because we know that we're at the forefront of climate impacts.
Climate action is especially important for Indigenous communities because climate change threatens not only their physical environment, but also their livelihoods, health, identity, and cultural survival.
We're here because, in our village, it's hard right there to find money for our children and for us too. Right now, everything is expensive. That's why we try our best to come and sell our products right here. We sell the copal. This is what we always use in Otosha. We also use these copals for we plant crops, and we also use it for harvest crops. We also use it for animals.
Generations of close observation have produced valuable knowledge about forests, water, agriculture, weather patterns, and biodiversity. Practices such as the Maya milpa farming system can support sustainable food production and strengthen resilience to environmental change.
One of the things that we're looking at here in Toledo, particularly where it concerns Maya farmers, is erratic rainfall. Right? Never before have we seen this kind of weather pattern that's really impacting crops, but also wild foods, because we depend a lot on forest foods for our subsistence, but also for our surplus, for our exchange with each other, and of course for the transmission of our knowledge, right? This is where we learn everything that we know.
The United Nations Development Programme is a partner in the Climate Week initiative held in Punta Gorda. Deputy Resident Representative Michael Lund.
We've heard some amazing leaders who've taken action, climate action, using their cultural background.
Climate action is important because it protects people, economies, and ecosystems from worsening effects of a warming planet. It involves both reducing greenhouse gas emissions and preparing communities for climate impacts that can no longer be avoided.
Climate change is real, it's here, we are feeling the effects. For us, rainy season is always a blessing, but too much rain is not good for them, for the farmers, and that's why we also have that segment. We need to also highlight our Indigenous communities, and that's why this year we came deep south.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
Up next, a look at weekend sports with Paul Lopez.
I'm a licensed electrician for 15 years. Safety is always an electrician number one priority. I shop at Belize. Belize give me high quality, durable material. Cheaper doesn't mean safety. Cheaper means danger. When I think about safety, I think about Belize. Remember, at Belize, quality is saving.
Savings at Benny's. Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and savings. See you at the store.
The way Belize uses electricity is changing. At home, families are using more devices, smarter appliances, and connected technology. Across the country, businesses are growing, industries are expanding, and communities are finding new ways to live, work, and move forward. Behind that progress, the energy system must continue to grow with Belize. At BL, modernizing the grid is part of preparing for what comes next. A grid with greater visibility, more accurate information, and better tools to manage energy as needs change. Through investment in digital systems, upgraded infrastructure and improved monitoring, BEL is strengthening how electricity is managed and delivered across the country. Not just for today's needs, but for the future Belize is building. As new technology emerges, from solar generation to community energy systems, the grid must be ready to support them safely, reliably, and sustainably. This is the work of modernization, step by step, system by system, community by community, helping prepare Belize for a more connected, resilient, and sustainable energy future.
Need to submit your sickness benefit claim online and have a physical medical certificate? Here's how you can do it. First, go to ssbportal.org.bz and log into your My Social Security account. Next, on your dashboard, click Benefits and choose Forms. Review the requirements, then click Continue to proceed. Click Apply under Sickness Benefit to start your claim. Review and confirm your banking information. If it is not correct, select No and follow the steps to update your banking details. If your banking information is correct, select Yes. Next, if your illness is not related to an injury at work, select No and proceed to upload your medical certificate. Select your claim period and confirm your employer details. Read the declarations and click each to agree. Click Submit and you're done. A confirmation email will be sent to you. Your employer will also receive an email with your claim details and a request for your salary information. If needed, submit your sickness benefit claim online and receive real-time status updates.
Get a smart start this new school year with deals you don't want to miss. Get a prepaid device starting at just $235. Choose from the TCL 503, Honor Play 10, Samsung A07, Samsung A17, and more. Every prepaid device purchase includes a free starter package with minutes, data, and SMS to get you started. Students and teachers, sign up for a Trio postpaid plan and enjoy 50% off for 3 months. Bundle your Trio plan with a postpaid data plan and get a free MiFi. Start the school year powered up with a postpaid power pack, including a device and your postpaid plan deposit, starting at $275. Plus, new students and teachers that sign up for their postpaid bundle get their first month free. Power up for back to school with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Every dollar you save today is a seed for tomorrow. Let your dreams take root and grow. Belize Bank, your future, our commitment.
Bundle, 2 Skydeck tickets, $500 Digi Cash, a night stay at Grand Resort plus official Marshall Montano merch. Get your tickets for only $5 on the Digi Wallet Marketplace games and experience Marshall Montano the Encore way.
Sport is more than a game.
It builds discipline, it creates opportunity, it strengthens communities, and it brings a nation together. But building the future of sport in Belize requires more than talent. It requires vision, investment, partnership, and action. This September, Belize comes together for the first ever Belize National Sports Summit 2026. A national conversation about where we are, where we want to go, and what it will take to transform sport in Belize. From stronger sports governance and better facilities to youth participation, athlete development, health and wellness, financing, inclusion, and sports tourism. Let's build the future of sport. Let's build stronger communities. Let's build Belize. The Belize National Sports Summit 2026 comes alive September 2nd and 3rd at the Belize Civic Center.
Sports Monday is brought to you by the National Sports Council of Belize.
Good evening, I am Paul Lopez with this week's installment of Sports Monday, brought to you by the National Sports Council. Tonight we shine the spotlight on the Junior Caribbean Cycling Championship hosted by the Cycling Federation of Belize. The two-day event saw young riders from across the region converge in Belize for 2 days of racing. Day one saw these riders, both male and females, compete in juvenile and junior categories. Day one was all about the individual time trial. So who clocked the fastest times? In the male juvenile category, Belize's Ahmad Wartank Sherrington secured gold with a time of 20 minutes, 41 seconds. That same category in the female race saw Barbados' Alexis Lashley secured the gold medal with a time of 23 minutes and 30 seconds. In the male junior category, Cayman Islands' Ryan Thompson rode away with gold with a finishing time of 26 minutes and 3 seconds, while Trinidad and Tobago's Ella Marie Young won gold in the female category with a time of 26 minutes and 35 seconds. And from the individual time trial, it was off to the races on day two for the road race. The juvenile in both the female and male categories raced in the morning along the Philip Golson Highway in Belize City. The roadblock created some inconveniences for motorists, but many were forewarned from earlier in the week. On the course, Belize's Ahmad Wartank Sherrington tore through the competition like knife through butter and confidently secured a dominant victory after 1 hour and 56 minutes of riding, earning him his second gold medal in the competition.
I've been dreaming to win this race from last year in Barbados, and we came out here with a game plan because Bermuda was the second strongest team in this sport, and when I got a flat early in the race, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, my race is probably over right here. But then my teammates dropped back for me, got me a bucket cross to the lead group, and from there it was just Caribbean countries against Caribbean countries, and turns out Belize was the best.
Barbados' Alexis Lashley also secured her second gold medal of the tournament. On the second day of the competition, she clocked a time of 2 hours and 8 minutes, making her team and country proud.
It was really hard, but my plan, I executed it perfectly. I just wanted to get away, and I knew it was going to be hard to solo the whole thing, and it started to feel really long, and halfway I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I just said to myself, I have it. All the time I was just speaking to myself, and it was really hot, but I did it. And then obviously I had a little complication and I had to stop. I thought I was done, but I wasn't, and I had to keep going, so that was tough as well, but I'm just really happy.
Belize also dominated in the junior male category. Belize's Devin Major rode in first, while his teammate Keith Enright followed immediately behind in second place. Cayman Islands' Ryan Thompson secured the bronze, while Belize's Jamal Tablada finished fourth. The top four riders all clocked the same time, 2 hours, 50 minutes.
First of all, I need to thank Team Belize, the four guys, Keith, Tablada, Dashan and Stefan. I have to thank the guys. Me personally, I think I'm a
play how it play out if the guys never stick to the plan and just listening at the race for the instructions. Secondly, I want to thank my coach, Corey Williams. He have been in the condition where we there currently, and that's up from this position. After that, I want to thank all the fans that come out.
Trinidad's Ella Marie Young also secured gold in the road race, her second of the tournament. Well, folks, that's all we have for you in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday, proudly brought to you by the National Sports Council. Catch you in the next one.
Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, BEL points to rising temperatures. Consumers want proof. Dulce Lagos commented, "It's crazy blaming the heat when we live in a tropical country. That's no excuse. Stealing from the Belizean people is the sentence y'all need to use. Because how on earth people that have been out of the country for months paying a high bill?" Turning to weekend motorcycle collisions leave 3 riders dead. Lily Morrison shared, "Yes, safety inspections should be enforced on all vehicles, but these 3 accidents are all motorcycle accidents. I continue ask what are the speed limits for motorcycles on highways?" And finally, on 3 years later, Belize's energy plan still awaits Saudi funding. Hugo Lizama shared, "I don't understand how they can be paying more for power than what they charge customers, yet still make a profit at the end of the year. Can someone please explain that to me?" Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.